For today's video, we are going to talk about money. We are going to talk about sweldo. So, I know most of you, especially yung mga nag-iisip pa lang kung mag-i-international student ba sila or mag-move ba sila to Australia. I know number one sa mga iniisip nyo is how much yung kinikita and worth it ba yung pag-move abroad or kakayanin ba ang expenses kung magiging international student ka dito sa Australia. So, ready? Let's go! Hey guys! Valerie here! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Oh my gosh, this comeback has been a very good comeback. Tiningnan ko yung mga uploads ko and I have been very consistent in uploading vlogs every Monday, every week. So, I would like to commend myself na hindi ako tinatamad mag-edit, hindi ako tinatamad mag-record. Anyway, I am going to share with you yung sweldo ko when I was still an international student and nung nakapag full-time job na ako. So, just for you to get the idea ba of yung kita ng isang international student and yung kita mo if you're able to work full-time. I am not saying that this is going to be the same for you because, again, iba-iba tayo ng responsibilities, may iba't ibang obligations tayo, and always kong sinasabi sa mga friends ko or sa mga classmates ko na iba-iba tayo ng circumstances. So, if you have parents na sumusuporta sa inyo here in Australia, nagpapadala ng pera sa inyo, number one is financial support. You are very blessed. You are very lucky if you have parents or even siblings, ate, kuya, na tumutulong sa inyo financially sa pagiging international student nyo dito. Well, that's good. Super swerte nyo sa part na yan kasi hindi kayo mabibigatan sa expenses. So, very different sa journey ko kasi sa akin, ako lang yung sumusuporta sa sarili ko. I am the front and I am the backup plan. So, sariling kita ko, sariling money ko, sariling expenses ko. I am going to share with you yung expenses ko, yung sweldo ko. Saan siya napupunta and paano ko siya binabudget from being an international student and now that I'm able to work full-time. So, I will not go into very tiny details kasi chinek ko yung isang payslip ko. I cannot explain to you like the penalties, kung paano siya kinocompute. Yung isi-share ko na lang is yung naging basic rate ko, yung naging hourly rate ko, tsaka siguro yung total na lang kasi hindi ko din alam kung paano exactly kinukuha yung tax. May certain percentage, but guys, this is not a math class. Vlog lamang po ito. So, wag niyo po akong tanungin kung paano kinakalculate. I-research niyo na lang po. Alam ko lang kung ilang percent yung tax, pero parang kung kinakalculate ko, hindi ko talaga siya makuha, but I trust my company. I trust the Australian government na hindi nila ako pinag-nanakawan. So, I'm just going to share with you yung mga naging hourly rate ko lang, tas yung parang naging total na sweldo ko after tax and paano ko siya binabudget. So, nag-arrive ako dito sa Australia, October of 2022. That time, lifted pa yung work restrictions ng mga international student kasi kakagaling lang sa pandemic. So, that time, pwede pang mag-work full-time or only yung mga international students. Nag-change lang siya after June of 2023. Pagkadating ng July 1 of 2023, nung naging new financial year na, dun na talaga nagsimula yung struggle ng mga international students. Like, for me, kasi very limited na lang yung income. Kahit may dagdag na 4 hours a week siya, guys. Nung naging 48 hours a fortnight siya, mahirap pa din. So, very tight pa din yung budget. Especially sa side ko na may gastusin ako dito, tas may gastusin ako sa sa Pilipinas. Parang naging dalawa yung mundo ko, tas convert ako ng convert every time na magpapadala ako dun ko talaga na-experience yung struggle talaga nung nag-limited working hours na lang yung mga international students. So, unahin natin yung sweldo ko nung international student pa lang ako. Because when I was still an international student, dalawa yung job ko. So, i-base na lang natin siya sa last pay slip ko nung international student pa ako. After that, dun pag-usapan natin yung sweldo ko now that I am working full-time. Kasi when I transitioned to full-time, yung aged care job na lang yung meron ako. So, madali na lang siya i-check sa pay slip kasi isang job na lang. So, sa aged care, yung naging hourly rate ko was $31 an hour. While nung casual ako sa special school, I think that was around $36 an hour. However, as a permanent part-time staff, may contract ako and sa contract ko sa aged care, I am going to work 35 hours a fortnight. So, nung international student pa lang ako, of course, my work restriction na 48 hours. So, 48 hours a fortnight minus 35 hours. So, mga 13 hours na lang extra. That's why, nung nag-work ako sa special school, sabi ko sa kanila, I can only work every Monday each week. Kasi yung magiging oras sa special school in one day, bale 6 hours. So, in every fortnight, meron akong 12 hours. So, 47 hours a fortnight. Lugi pa nga ako ng isang oras noon every fortnight. But, pinush through ko na lang. Kasi, okay na din yun compared to, just having plain 35 hours and hintay-hintay ka lang ng shift. Although, maraming shifts sa aged care, yung guaranteed hours ko lang kasi was 35. So, parang naniguro na lang ako sa part na I'd rather have 12 hours na makuha sa special school than wait for, try my luck to pick up shifts sa aged care to reach 13 hours. So, yun yung naging calculation ko before. So, every fortnight, kung i-combine ko yung sweldo ko sa aged care and sa special school, after tax, between $1,300 to $1,500 a fortnight. That's after tax. Somehow, medyo malaki-laki pa din kasi if I'm going to work in an afternoon shift, may penalty yan siya. Kasi ngayon, I think that's around 12.5% on top of your basic rate, yung hourly rate mo if mag-work ka ng afternoon. Sa Saturday, 50% on top of your hourly rate. Tas sa Sunday naman, mas malaki. I think 75 or double ba? I'm not sure kasi I'm not working on Sundays eh. So, hanggang Saturday lang ako kasi nag-church ako on Sunday. So, hindi talaga ako nang-work Sundays. So, yung alam ko lang na sure ako is yung penalty ng Saturday, which is 50%. So, yun, 50% ng hourly rate mo. Yun yung penalty ng Saturday. Tas 12.5% naman pag afternoon shift ka on a weekday. Kaya, yung ibang international students, mas pinipili nila yung graveyard shift kasi mas malaki din yung penalty at night. How much more sa weekend na graveyard, 'di ba? Yung mga night shift. Kaso hindi ko talaga talo talaga yung katawan ko ng graveyard shift ng night shift kasi hindi talaga ako nakakatulog. So, natatakot lang ako for my health, especially na ako lang mag-isa dito, tas ang mahal-mahal pa, hindi ako permanent resident, hindi ako citizen. So, I cannot risk na magkasakit dito kasi ang mahal. Kahit may overseas, ako noon, health cover, meron pa din akong binabayarang excess or difference sa, pag magpapa-check up ako or magpapa-hospital ako dito. So, as much as possible, minimake sure ko talaga na healthy lang. And thank you, Lord. So far, wala namang nangyari. Also, isa lang sa mga nasasayangan naming mga international students is is, alam mo, yung ang haba pa ng araw. Pwede kang mag-double job, pwede kang mag-triple job even, pero nalilimitahan yung oras mo kasi ayaw mo namang lumabag sa law, kasi ayaw mong ma-deport, diba? Alam mo namang kaya mo pang magtrabaho, pero nalilimit lang talaga dahil sa work restrictions. Especially ako, dun lang ako nasasayangan. Yung alam kong kaya ko pang magtrabaho in a day, yung kaya ko pang magtrabaho more than 7.5 hours a day. Pero nalilimitahan lang talaga because of the work restrictions that time. So, yun, tiis-tiis na lang. So, eto na. Ipagpalagay natin. Sige, let's reach the roof talaga of what I can get every fortnight nung international student pa ako. Let's say, I'm able to get $1,500 in every fortnight. So, times 2, let's say I have $3,000 a month. So, let's do the math. Paano ko binudget? Yung tuition ko, $980 lang naman a month. So, yun yung tuition ko, guys, nung nag-aaral pa ako. A month, ha? I-monthly basis na lang natin kasi most of my bayarin, aside sa fortnightly, may mga monthly. So, para hindi na tayo malito sa pag-compute, ginawa ko siyang monthly. Yung house rent ko was $200 a week. So, that was $800 a month, okay? Oh my gosh. And then, I have to be honest, yung naging limited working hours na lang, yung naging 48 hours a fortnight na lang talaga, I really had to let all of my credit cards go. Lahat ng credit cards ko, bank ko sa Philippines, I have to stop using them. Kasi wala na talaga akong pambayad. I had to contact every bank. Nagpaka-honest ako ba? Like, nag-email talaga ako na hindi ko talaga muna mababayaran whatever balance I have. So, interest ng interest, that was the main struggle. Yung mga payables ko talaga, like, Lord, paano na to? Yung mga ganyang feeling. Imagine, 2023 of July hanggang November of 2024. More than a year of financial struggle. Guys, kung iisipin mo ang liit-liit lang ng span, pero every day, pinag-iisipan ko yun. More than 365 days of me thinking about money, like expenses, budgeting. Hindi talaga makakatulong sa journey mo dito. I had to pause whatever I can pause. I had to stop whatever I can stop. Sacrifice talaga siya. Especially me, I have 3 kids in the Philippines. It reached to a certain point talaga na yung nabibigay ko na lang sa kids ko was $100 per child. Kasi talagang hindi ko na alam kung saan or paano ako makakapagkuha ng money. I also tried looking for sidelines, yung mga cash jobs, but wala din akong makuha. Trinay kung mag-activate ulit ng Upwork ko, yung sa virtual assistant work ko before, but wala na din. Parang feeling ko na paglipasan na ako kasi matagal-tagal na din akong hindi nag-VVA. So, parang feeling ko parang behind na ako sa skills, you know? And wala talaga, that time wala talaga ako makuha na client. Yung kahit apply ako ng apply, tas nauubos na yung mga connects ko that time, wala talaga. I've asked friends na, uy, may hiring ba sa VA na jobs nyo? Wala naman. So, nag-stick na lang talaga ako sa 48 hours ko na job. Like, solely 48 hours job. It came to a point na umiiyak. Yes, dadating talaga. Always talaga. Especially if you're, stressed about money. Kasi matatanong mo talaga sa self mo kung worth it pa ba na nandito ka. It was so dark. Hindi ko na alam kung ano yung uunahin ko. Kailangan ko talagang i-remind lang yung self ko na I have to focus. Nandito na ako. Wala nang balikan to. Wala nang atrasan to. The only way to go is forward. So, yun lang talaga. Yung goal ko lang that time na maintindihan ako ng family ko. So, yeah, 3,000 a month minus $980 na tuition, $800 a month na house rent. Tapos, may phone bill ako dito na $130 a month. Sa Pilipinas kasi, yung bahay ko, binabayaran ko pa siya monthly. So, 20,000 pesos a month. Actually, 16 lang to. But, nira-round off ko na lang na 20 kasi dinadaan ko to sa card ko, sa bank ko. So, 20,000 pesos to ha. So, depende to sa yung conversion rate ng mga remittance apps. So, tas yung mga bata, $300 a month. Very poor. Dito talaga ako parang na problema. Like, alam ko na maliit lang to, but it's better than nothing that time. It was better than nothing. Oh my gosh, naiiyak ako. Kasi naisip ko yung struggles ba, yung roller coaster na pinagdaanan ko dito when it comes to expenses. So, let's say for example, yung 20,000 pesos, mga around $600. Also, ginagawa ko siyang 20,000 kasi kung may extra man, may binabayaran kasi ako memorial plan sa Pilipinas. So, kumuha ako, at least invest, 'di ba? Yung PH number ko, yun pa din yung connected sa banks ko and other government chuchus. So, kailangan ko siyang i-keep. Sometimes nagbabayad pa ako ng SIM card bill ko every quarter sa Pilipinas. So, yeah, yun yung mga extra. Depende kasi sa conversion. So, let's say for example, 600. Ilan na ba yan? 200 $200 na lang yung natira. Saan ko ba pa ito na-spend? Food. Yung monthly ko sa food, 150. Tas sa GoCard ko pa, yung pamasahe ko. Top up yun. $20 yung top up nun. So, in a month, kailangan kong tipirin. So, yeah, yun yung naging budget ko. And, mga unexpected expenses. So, let's say, for example, yung natitirang $200, dun ko na kinukuha yung food budget ko in a month, yung pocket money ko, and yung pamasahe ko. Nako-compare ko yung kita ko before and nako-compare ko yung kita ko ngayon. Nahihirapan lang ako sa fact na dalawa yung pinagbabudgetan ko. Of course, alam ko lugi yung mga anak ko that time kasi wala eh. Alam nga naman magnakaw ako. Parang yun lang talaga. Yun lang yung kita ko when I was an international student. Dumating pa nga sa point na na-decisionan ko na hindi ako uuwi kasi number one, wala talagang money to uwi. Kung meron man, I have to look for the cheapest flights. Yung gastos ko na naman, of course, gagastos ka pag uuwi ka. So, it was hard. It was hard talaga. I remember explaining it to my family kung bakit ganito lang muna. Tas of course, on social media, alam nga naman magpakita ka na you're struggling. Of course, yung mga gala ko, alam ng friends ko na hindi ako lumalabas ng hindi libre. Yung pag my birthday, okay, birthday, libre, fine, let's go. If ever man na pumunta ako sa city or maglakad-lakad, yung coffee, $5. Talagang very, very budgeted talaga yung nagma-markets kami ng mga friends ko or nag-a-Aldi. Kasi sa Aldi, yun yung mura na grocery. Mahal sa Woolies or sa Kohl's. So, nag-a-Aldi kami together para ma-budget namin yung food. Tas, I remember na yung tuna, yung canned goods na $1 lang. Oh, bumibili ako ng tuna na 7 cans. So, $7 lang yun, Okay, solve na yung 7 days of lunch ko. Or, baon ko to work if ever may isang meal akong dadalhin to work. So, yun yung mga ninja moves. May mga travel na, kung hindi free yung accommodation, guys, hindi ako pupunta. So, binabayaran ko lang yung pamasahe ko, ganyan. Alam ng friends ko na I was really struggling. Yung journey wasn't smooth. So, ang daming kaganapan. So, I had to stop what I can stop. I had to pause what I can pause. I had to sacrifice kahit labag sa loob ko, kahit masakit sa loob ko, na mag-sacrifice ng certain things, especially yung naapektuhan na yung mga kids, kailangan ko lang talaga kasi ubos na talaga yung budget. Especially nung last year, nung nag-emergency uwi ako sa Pilipinas, naapektuhan na naman yung budget na when I'm supposed to be working, umuwi ako. That was during school break. You know, those times na pwede ko sanang i-work full-time pero umuwi ako. But it happens because, you know, if it's because of family, pipiliin mo. Na-reach yung point na I had to ask the school as well kung pwede ba na unti-untiin ko na lang kasi umabot talaga sa point na hindi ko nababayaran ng buo yung 980 a month because parang na-behind ako kasi may binayaran akong plane ticket, yung gastos ko nung umuwi ako. Of course, gagastos ka. So, it depends on how you budget, decision making, especially financially. It turned out well naman in the end. Nung nakapag-work na ako full-time, I'm able to slowly go back. Unti-unti ko nang nababayaran ulit yung mga na-hold kong bills. Ay! Ang daming prayers na speak to God. Guys, when it comes to the journeys. Again, aking journey lamang po ito because may mga obligations akong may different from you. But just to give you an idea, so my best advice is ngayon pa lang, alamin nyo na kung ano yung mga fixed expenses nyo. Kung ilang savings mayroon talaga kayo. Yung extra money meron talaga kayo because it is very important. If wala kang obligation sa Pilipinas, if hindi ka required na magpadala sa family mo, good. Kasi yung priority mo lang yung self mo and yung expenses mo dito. Unlike me, na kailangan talagang, you know, half yung money, then you have to really think about it, especially sa mga breadwinners natin dyan, na just because you can see this amount in your bank, you have to think talaga na will this last? Kaya ba itong maging backup ko talaga when kasi dito you have to start from scratch. Gagastos ka talaga. And hindi siya mura, guys. Mahal yung cost of living. Every day, kada labas mo, kada galaw mo, gagastos ka talaga. So ako, meron akong ginagawang sheet para makita ko talaga yung mga fixed na bayarin ko. Of course, number one, house rent kasi ayoko maging homeless, guys. Para lang makita mo kung ano yung fixed expenses mo at magkano yung expenses per month. Yun yung ginagawa ko. Doon ko malalaman kung may extra ba ako this month. Doon ko malalaman kung ilan yung malalaan ko for food. Yung food talaga expenses, yung maapektuhan ko dito, yung pocket money ko. Sometimes wala na, as long as may laman yung go-card, yung pamasahe ko to and from work, okay na ako doon. As long as may canned goods ako, may egg, may bread, yun, okay na. Ang daming mako-compromise, especially if you're a breadwinner. So you really have to think about it. What you're going to sacrifice now, pag nagpursige ka lang, in the long run, worth it talaga siya. Kasi worth it naman talaga mag-move dito sa Australia, guys. There's just a lot of sacrifices. And number one talaga na maka-question is yung budget. Also, I remember pa na may bank loan ako noon na matatapos yung loan 2024. Yun, hindi ko pwedeng i-stop yun kasi post-dated checks yun from the bank. Pag tumalbog, problema. So yun, hindi ko talaga i-stop yun. That was around 10,000 pesos. So isa din yun. So mga around talagang $550 to $650 yung nilalaan ko a month sa bahay. So tiniis ko talaga yun. Every single time hanggat kaya ko explain sa family ko, sa kids ko na ito talaga yung money ko lang. Salamat na lang, Lord, at nalagpasan na namin yung stage na yun. And I'm able to slowly come back na kasi I'm working full-time na. So, oh my gosh, ibang stress talaga yung nagagawa ng money. So now that I can finally work full-time, I'm able to slowly go back na to giving more, having more. Mas naa-adjust ko na ngayon. Although may backtrack pa ako yung mga na-pause ko na payables, unti-unti ko na sila silang nababayaran ulit. May pending ako sa school, unti-unti ko na siyang nababayaran din. So, yung number one goal ko lang talaga ngayon, as soon as nakapag-start ako work full-time, yung inuna ko talaga yung mga payables. For the kids, for my family, I'm able to adjust my budget na din. Mas mataas or mas nakakapagbigay na ako ng more for my family through prayers and guidance ng Panginoon talaga. I'm able to slowly stand again financially. Yung ano lang naman talaga when you move abroad is yung work. If you're able to work unlimited, if you're able to work full-time, makaka-survive ka. Kasi Filipinos, nandito tayo abroad, madiskarte tayo. Kailangan natin, especially if we have dependents. Kailangan talaga nating maging masipag, kailangan talaga nating maging hardworking. Now, yung hourly rate ko, $33 na siya per hour. So, lumalaki na din yung penalties. So far, sa awa ng Diyos, nakakapag-cover na din ako full-time. Ayokong mag-go over minsan kasi pag lalo kang nag-overtime, mas lumalaki yung tax. So, the more hours you have, the more tax yung deduction. Sometimes kinakalculate ko, hindi siya worth it sa pagod. May mas malaki pa dito, especially yung mga agencies na nagsisend sa'yo into different age care. Sinend sa akin ng friend ko, oh my gosh, umaabot sila ng $40 to $45 an hour, but casual nga lang. For me, hindi ako kumukuha ng casual. Nagsistick ako sa age care ko ngayon because I need the leave credits. Kailangan ko yung annual leave kasi every year ako umuwi na ng Pilipinas. So, every vacation ng kids, umuwi ako. So, dun ko nagagamit yung annual leave ko. Pag nagbakasyon ako, paid pa din ako based on my hourly rate. Now that I'm able to work full-time, minimake sure ko talaga na hindi ako bumababa sa 2,000 a fortnight. In-adjust ko na kasi yung budget ko. So, nilakihan ko na yung papadala ko sa Pilipinas, yung mga pangbayad ko ng mga na-pending ko na payables before. Yung mga linis ko naman so far is nasa 2,200 to 2,400. So, okay na din yun for me. As long as covered na yung family ko, yung mga bata. Wala naman talagang specifically nagbago. Na-adjust lang yung kung magkano na yung binibigay ko, magkano na yung nilalaan. Ngayon talaga, nagbabayad lang ako ng mga utang, guys. Also, nag-apply ako for a new visa. So, may binabayaran akong visa fees. Buti na installment. Nakaka-afford na akong mag-gym ng $20. Savings! Nakakapag-save na ako. Yung savings ko ngayon, nilalaan ko for my vacation para hindi ko na makaltasan yung budget ko in the future. So, naghahanda na ako. Nakakapaghanda ako. Magaan ang buhay for me means I'm able to pay bills. I'm able to give more sa family. I'm able to save. Kahit ma-zero man yung bank ko ngayon, yung wallet ko ngayon, alam kong I'm able to pay bills already. Kasi before, nung student pa ako, nasa-stress ako kasi hindi ako nakakapagbayad ng bills and I don't know where or how I'm able to come up with an amount. Ngayon, kahit maubos man yung laman ng bangko, at least, yung parang naubos siya because I have to pay bills and I'm able to do it na. You really have to think about the sacrifices you're going to make. It's really going to be a struggle talaga. Pahirapan, gapang kung gapang, guys. Especially for breadwinners, gapang talaga. It would be nice if you're going to have savings more than what you think you have. Dapat kung may extrahan mo pa for emergency kasi di mo alam eh. It's a risk, a total risk coming here, moving abroad. It's going to be a real battle. Palakasan siya ng fighting spirit. You have to be wise in terms of decision. Be realistic. Isipin mo lang kung ano sa tingin mo yung tama. Because after all, ako lang yung nagsalba sa sarili ko. Kung nailagay ko man yung self ko sa struggles, ako lang din naman yung nakapag-save sa akin. So yeah, that's it. Yan yung income ko when I was still an international student versus now that I'm able to work full-time. I hope na may natutunan kayo from may financial struggles, may ma-realize sana kayo na hindi siya ganun kadali. Masarap siya isipin na, oh, you're in Australia, but hindi siya ganun kadali. Hindi ka makakapag-move abroad without utang unless you have parents, you have support from family. But if you're going to do it solo, kayanin mo lang. You'll be fine, you'll get through it. As long as you stand back up, palakasan ng loob. Huwag magpadala sa depression, sa anxiety. Matitest ka talaga dito. But always pray. You're always going to figure things out. It's going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it. So yeah, thank you for watching, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe. And I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!